doing? As you can see, things look a little different. But before I get into that, how are y'all doing, good people? This is Eli, the Marfan homie. I'm back at it again with another episode for you guys. So yeah, let's address the obvious in the room. Got a new desk, so overall new setup. With the new having a new desk, my mic stand did not fit anymore, so I got this bad boy right here to help me out, and I like it so far. This is my first day using it. Um, Last week I did not get to record last week, but last week was filled with a little bit of adventure, and I am going to tell you guys about it. But like I said, new desk, new setup. Um, I'm really liking it. And then today's episode, I'm really excited about today's episode. I hope it goes really well because I will be incorporating using my laptop. Um, but let's get into it. So as I flip the page back because I'm so excited and don't know where I am, we are on. I believe this would be episode 20 or 19, one of the two. Oh, yeah, I'm on something old. Yeah, this would be episode 20. So the name of this episode, or the purpose, let's go with that. Let's go with that. The purpose of this episode um is to talk about Marfans in a, not even talk about it, to relay more information about it. And so one thing that I do love about myself is that I like technology. So what I decided to do, it seems that ChatGPT is the craze going on right now. So if you haven't heard about ChatGPT, I suggest you Google it and look at it and run into some weird stuff. I had to talk about it this weekend. Had to talk about it a couple weeks ago. It's crazy. But so one thing that I want to do is incorporate ChatGPT into today's episode. I love this mic stand. I love it really much. But I wanted to incorporate ChatGPT in today's episode. So today's episode title is "What is Marfan syndrome? How to spot it, how to treat it, and how to care for someone who has it." So again, like today, I'm giving you more insight, more than the self-knowledge that I have about Marfan syndrome. But overall, just more insight about it. Okay, so we are back. I hope that goes over well when I start recording again. But we're back. So like I said, today's episode is what is Marfan syndrome, how to spot it, how to treat it, and how to care for someone who has it. So before we get into all that, let's do a little recap. Ta-da! Clap, clap, clap it up for the recap. Like I said, I have some stuff to tell you guys today. So date night at the museum and mall trip. I forgot what the mall trip was about, but date night at the museum. So I think this past weekend, um, we did. Okay. So yeah, what this episode was supposed to be at that time. So let's just say recap. So the weekend before last, we had date nights. So Saturday, I took Saturday. So what we did a candle making class, and what was the other thing? And we went out to some restaurant downtown Dallas, real nice, next to Clyde Warren and stuff like that. Real nice restaurant. On Sunday, I'm so bad. On Sunday, so we did a museum. So we went to the museum. I forget the name of the museum, but it's that big old one in downtown Dallas where you can see the stairs from the outside. They had a Pixar exhibit and all types of other stuff. But that was pretty cool. And then I think we then we came back home to eat. We came back home to eat and do our nightly thing, our nightly ritual, I guess. But that was cool. Mall trips, I forget what that was about, but I guess we made a lot of trips to the mall that weekend. So it is what it is. I love this thing. This thing is so cool. Uh, but let's go. Since I did not record that time, let's go last weekend or this past weekend. So last Thursday, we left for a trip to DC. So this is my first time in DC. Kudos for that. So it was my first time in DC, and we explored. So first and foremost, congratulations to one of my friends. They graduated with their masters. She told us back in December. I was like, I'm not gonna miss this. I missed a lot of my other friends getting their masters and their graduation, like after I graduated from college. So I said, I'm not gonna miss this one. So got mine. Taped it like back in December almost. It was crazy. But saw the graduation, saw the graduates, saw DC. I saw. So we got around to seeing the state capitol, the White House, the National Monument, or the Washington Monument, Abraham Monument, and then you could see like the Jefferson Monument from a distance. However, I did not get to see, I guess, the Martin Luther King statue slash monument. Honestly, I want to make a second trip. I think DC was full of everything, full of business, full of culture. Like there was a lot of different people there. There was a lot of different yeah, a lot of different races, different people there. And I thought like that was pretty cool. Like again, you see that here in Dallas. Like it was a melting pot ultimately. Like DC is a big melting pot. So that was cool. What else did we do? And then her family, they also came up there. Excuse me. Her family also came up there, and they had like a big old barbecue. That was pretty awesome. And then we met up with some other friends, and it was great. I honestly loved DC. In the 4 days, 4 days that we stayed, DC was definitely a place I can actually see myself going back to and actually enjoying. Because it seemed like there was like a lot of different things to do. And then I ran into my cousin, so coincidentally, just ran into her. She was like, "Hey, Elijah." I was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" She's like, "I live here. What are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, it's my friend's graduation." But nah, man, that was definitely a cool thing to do. So yeah, that's what's happened since. How's this month going? Apparently, this month is going great. DC date nights back to back. We re-signed our lease, so I'm gonna be in this studio for a whole nother year. We'll see how things go, but this is gonna be in this studio a whole nother year. And so yeah, man. Honestly, the month of May is looking very much up. It's doing very good, looking very good. What else? How's work going? Work is going good. I would say that work is going good, and then when you guys hear this, it's gonna be late. But work is going good. The lead thing that I'm in is also going good as well. So everything seems to be on the up and up. Bam, done with that. So now let's get to the meat of this episode, right? I wrote down a couple like notes here, but so what I said I wanted to use ChatGPT to give better answers than, of course, that I would give. And before I do that, I'm just gonna check to see if this camera is still recording. 1 second. All right, still recording, so we're still in there. So let's go to ChatGPT, right? So I already had some tabs, I already had some answers pulled up. I have been planning this for a little minute. So the first question is, what is Marfan syndrome? So in my definition, and to give you like two different perspectives between like again the professional slash AI perspective and the person that has a perspective, it's ultimately what it is, and what I hear, ultimately what it is a connective tissue disorder. So some severity is worse than, or some people have it more severe than others. I would think that I'm probably the worst severe out of my dad's children. But again, so you can suffer from any. So way to spot someone with Marfan's: long limbed, skinny, slender, um, either protrude. Not everyone has either protruding or, let's say, extruding chest, but some of them just have like flat normal chest. But those are actually rare, I guess. Um, long phalanges, long fingers. Um, very, just like I said, a very slim frame. Um, what's next? So let's see what Chat GPT says. So it says Morphin syndrome is a genetic disorder that affects the connective tissue of the body. It is caused by a mutation in the gene that provides instructions for making a protein called fibrillin something something 1, which is an important component of the connective tissue. So that is what they test for, whether you're an infant, you're still in your mother's womb at like 8, 9 months. Um, they test for the mutation of that gene. So I don't know. I haven't had any like genetic testing, but again, my father has it. My brothers, a lot of my brothers have it. I don't see why I would not have Marfan's, and maybe not to be ignorant. I maybe should go get tested, but I just don't see what else it could possibly be, seeing that there's so much lineage of Marfan's already in my family. Um, and it says to go further, people with Marfan's can experience a range of symptoms which can affect many different parts of the body. The most common features of Marfan syndrome are, this is what I was saying earlier. Bad eyesight is one of them as I pull my computer closer. Tall and slender body type, long arms, legs, and fingers, scoliosis or curvature of the spine, chest deformity such as the sternum that is pushed in or out, heart problems such as aortic enlargement or mitral valve prolapse, and eye problems such as nearsightedness or dislocation of the lenses. And essentially, that's Marfan's. So those are the characteristics. Those are the things that come with having Marfan's, and it's just you have to be on the lookout for those things. I would honestly say you have to be on the lookout for those things, and it's not necessarily preventing, but it's uh counter measuring in a way. So basically, what you would want to do is like see where you can slow down the things that are happening in that person's body, whether you're the parent or whatever the case may be. You want to slow down the progression of any of the things that might quote unquote be deteriorating within the person that has Marfan's like body. Um, so yeah, that's the thing. So that's why I mean, again, against all odds, I work out a lot. Helpfully, I eat a lot. I try to eat a lot of protein foods, seeing that we're missing or we have a genetic deformity in that gene that causes the proteins not to connect as strong, make as strong of a bond. So I try to do things to help in that capacity that help that revolve around what I'm doing. Um, and then again, let's go. What else it says? Marfan syndrome is a lifelong condition that can be managed with proper medical care. Treatment may include medications to control blood pressure, heart rate, and surgery to repair or replace a damaged aorta or heart valve, and regulatory monitoring to detect and manage complications. So that was like in a couple episodes ago, or like my first surgery. Um, that's one of the things they were constantly measuring and watching the rate of what my aortic valve was growing to determine when it was time to have my first aortic valve surgery. So like I said, I had my first surgery at 17 July 2012. So just imagine that. And they've been watching me all my life. They were watching me all my life. So that just goes to show like how much they really do try to keep watch out and everything that it is that you're doing, or how your body is progressing. So again, shout out to the doctors, man. Let's go to the second question. Who discovered it and how it got its name? Now, this one I saw when I read about it was pretty interesting. I never knew, so I have no perspective on this. But let's see what ChatGPT says as I find the answer. Oh, I also Googled or ChatGPT'd myself, and this is a pretty cool thing. Uh, well, let's just skip to the answer. I think I Google or ChatGPT a lot of answers, get a lot of different topics about what to do with my podcast. Even they're very helpful. I've heard they've written resumes for people, and a lot of other stuff. And then like it's AI, so I told it to keep going, tell me more, and all types of stuff about like that, like different commands that you could feed it. I'm a technology nerd, so that's I could talk about that part all day. But so to the second question, who discovered Marfan's and how did it get its name? So Marfan syndrome is named after Antoine Marfan, a French pediatrician who first described the condition in 1896. Marfan noticed similarities in physical features amongst his patients, and he realized that they also had similar problems with their cardiovascular system. He described these findings in a paper titled some French word, in other English it means a case of congenital deformation of the four limbs, more pronounced as the extremities, characterized by elongation of the bones with a certain degree of thinning, which was published in the Archives de Medicine de Infantas in 1896. Marfan's original paper described a few patients who had characteristic physical features and cardiovascular abnormalities associated with Marfan syndrome, and he noted that the condition seemed to be inherited in families. Since Marfan's initial description, researchers have continued to study more about the condition. It is now known to be caused by mutations by the FBN1 gene. Um, so yeah. So again, the scientist's name was Antoine Marfan, French guy. Originally, I thought it was German, but it's French, nonetheless European. It is a It seemed to have originated in European lands. That's what I would think. That is a personal thought of mine. However, it was discovered he had patients, all similar characteristics, thinning of the limbs, tall, slender, and who else knows? Maybe they had like heart issues that he came across, and they were all very similar. So to later diagnose it as Marfan syndrome as a syndrome. And then I did a deeper dive. It says where in the where in the world? This is my question to ChatGPT was where in the world was Marfan syndrome first found? And I think this was to clear my mind on whether it was German or French. Obviously, it was French. Marfan syndrome is a genetic disorder that can be found in populations worldwide. It is not associated with a specific geographic location, or ethnic group. Cases of Marfan syndrome may have been reported and studied in various countries around the world. However, it is worth noting that it was officially described and named by Antoine Marfan, a French pediatrician, in 1896. The initial cases that Marfan observed and documented were in France. Since then, cases of Marfan syndrome have been identified and studied globally. The condition is believed to have prevalence of approximately 1 in every 5,000 or to 1 in 10,000 individuals worldwide. And how is it so lucky that it grabbed 8 individuals in one family? That's crazy, right? Individuals worldwide, it affects both males and females of all ethnic backgrounds. Genetic mutations that cause Marfan syndrome can occur spontaneously or be inherited from affected parents. Like I said, my mom does not have Marfan. Neither is the children that she had that weren't with my father. However, my dad had it, and not all of his children were affected by it as well, but most of us were. So again, that just goes to show like how strong of a genetic mutation that can possibly be. Um, in summary, Marfan is not limited to. Um, so diagnosing and professional diagnosis. I don't think I googled that, but again, I think that like I said, between the lineage of your family, and between, of course, getting the genetic testing for the FBN1 gene and that mutation, or finding that mutation, that would probably be like again your best bet. And again, there are similar diseases, syndromes that are like Marfan's. However, I'm talking about Marfan's, and this is the one today. But there are similar things. So again, if you do see like someone that is either slim, I wouldn't go up to him and be like, "Hey, do you have Marfan's?" Not at all. But these are key things to look out for. Again, they're pretty much going to be skinny people, skinny, tall, slim people, and then you'll start to think like, "Oh, do they have Marfan's?" And they might not. They might have something else. And I guess having ChatGPT in front of me, I can see what are some other Marfan related diseases. So I said, besides Marfan's, what are some other diseases that may have the same trait? So you have Lowy Dietz. I've heard of that one. I've actually spoken with some people with Lowy Dietz. You have, well, I'm actually going to read through all of these. So what it does, it types out everything, and it gives you just a whole bunch of information. So we're going to go through all of these, right? So the first one is EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a group of connective tissue disorders characterized by joint hypermobility, skin hyperextensibility, and tissue fragility. Like Marfan's, EDS can affect multiple body systems, including the cardiovascular system. Lowy Dietz, LDS, is a genetic disorder that shares some similarities with Marfan syndrome. It is characterized by aortic aneurysms, atrial tuberosity, and then again, if I can't read it, oh well, sorry, excuse me, and widespread systemic involvement. However, LDS is distinct from Marfan's and is caused by mutations in different genes. Interesting. This one is called homocystinuria. That is an inherited disorder that affects the retabolism of amino acid homocysteine. Interesting. It can cause similar skeletal, ocular, and cardiovascular manifestations as seen in Marfan. That's number 3. Number 4 is Bill's syndrome. Bill's syndrome is a genetic disorder that presents with features similar to Marfan's, including joint contractures, long, slender fingers, and tall structure. However, it is caused by mutations in a different gene. This is crazy. I didn't know there was like 5 other ones that can, again. So that's the thing. Like there's one more. No, hold on. And this one is called MAS phenotype, mitral valve prolapse, aortic enlargement. MAS. Okay, that is. Phenotype refers to a range of features, including mitral valve prolapse, joint laxity, and aortic enlargement. It can be seen in individuals who do not meet the diagnostic criteria for Marfan's clinical features. Okay. It is important to note that while these conditions share some similarities with Marfan's syndrome, they distinct disorders with their diagnostic criteria and underlying genetic causes. A thorough medical evaluation by healthcare professionals with expertise in genetic disorders is necessary to make an accurate diagnosis. Even the AI tells you to go to the doctor and get your stuff looked at. However, what I was going to say is, I've come across a lot of slender people that I don't know if they have Marfan's or any of these five syndromes and whatnot, or types or genetic disorders or gene mutations. But it's very interesting to see that uh, there are a lot of different things out there that aren't necessarily Marfans, and there's a lot of different people to connect with to see how their diagnosis and their syndrome and their mutations have affected them. So that's definitely one thing I want to do. So if you actually know anybody with any of these different disorder, diseases, syndromes, genetic mutations, if you know anybody with these, tell them to contact me and let me know. Because again, I would love to talk to them, have them on the podcast, and we can just talk about everything, how it affected you, how it's affecting you now, what don't you let affect you, and just everything. So let's go on to the next question. Symptoms, what to look for. I think that honestly just said it. Like I said, long fingers. Like, I have the biggest hands in my family. From the oldest person that doesn't have Marfan's to the oldest person that does have Marfan's, I have the biggest hands in my family. I think like my middle finger, I don't even have a ruler. But like this is a stationary pen. Like, you can see I'm not too far from the pen. But you can see from the, let's see, from like the tip of the cap to the ball. I know some people hands that are smaller than this whole pen. To know that my whole hand has like at least 2 inches over it, at big hands. So like big hands, long feet. I mean, the biggest size that in my family, I think my brother wears like a 17. Of course, like Shaq wears like a 24, 25, right? But still, my brother wears like a 17, very slim, slender feet. Me on the other hand, I wear a 11 and a half, but like I described on my foot episode, I just got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. I think if my toes were actually straight, I think I'd probably wear like a 13, 14. But it is what it is. What are some other things to look out for? When it comes to physical activity, shortness of breath, um, fatigue a lot quicker than peers. Um, Shortness of breath, fatigue, faintness, blurry eye. Like, you have to ask these people, like, how are you feeling? What's your mind going through? What are some other things? Knock knee. Even though there's a scientific word for that, but and I could ask chat, but I just can't think to type. Um, I think I asked chat. Let's see. Now I'm calling them chat. I think I asked chat. What are some symptoms? Linked to or maybe not. I maybe didn't ask, but now let's check this to see if this is still going. But yeah, that's still going. But again, I told you the symptoms, and then it's just like, again, you have to look out for these things. So we can go to the next one. So celebrities that have Marfans, I actually looked this up on Google as well. So I think, as we can all agree, let me get some water. Hold on. Water break. As y'all can see on YouTube, I was pretty thirsty, so it is what it is. But I think so. The celebrities, I believe the most notable celebrity to believe to have Marfan, and what's crazy, I saw like his wax and like all his pictures at the Smithsonian Museum in DC. I went there as well. He looked like he could have had Marfan's, people. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, try to scoot closer. But I think there's a high possibility that Abraham Lincoln could have Marfan's. I just looked at like his face. They had like his wax cut out of his fingers, and to even think at that time we were able to take photographs. Um, he was a tall guy. I think he was a tall guy. He had looked very slim, And I mean, it's a high possibility, but that's probably the most notable one. And when I mean like higher celebrity, but according to some of these articles, like again, Abraham Lincoln, Osama bin Laden, for whatever reason, they believe Osama bin Laden had Marfan. Uh, and it says, which was clear from his physical appearance. It said the FBI had described Osama as a tall and thin adult who was been anywhere from 1.93 meters to 1.98. Eric Einstein is he's a musician. He's noted to have Marfans. Bradford Cox, um, popular American singer songwriter. Michael Phelps. Well, I'm just gonna say my 2 cents about the Michael Phelps one. He swims. Yes, he's tall. He has a lot of limbs, but again, we just discovered that there's a couple other um, mutations out there that may cause you to look like you have Marfan's, but you're not necessarily having Marfan. So maybe he should be tested for something else, or let's say he didn't get the gene for the FBN1 testing done. I think there's a lot of speculation around that one. But again, congrats to him. Salute to him. He's an Olympian. Like it is what it is. Um, 28 medals. And I hate that they put he also suffers from Marfan. He doesn't look like he's suffering to me. Dude won 20 something gold medals over the accumulation of whatever many years. The fastest swimmer in like ever. That's pretty good. Isaiah Austin, and that's one. This one, if you don't know who Isaiah Austin is, he was a student at Baylor University, and basically had to stop his career because he found out he had Marfan syndrome, and they would not allow him to play basketball anymore. And I think dude was pretty good. He probably could have been well onto his way to the NBA, but again, like I've heard stories, and I don't know why they're like not in here or anywhere that I found. Is like people have collapsed on the basketball court due to again like your aorta just exploding, like it just exploded. But I've heard stories about that, about like NBA players and other professional ball players just boom dead because they did not know, or they went undiagnosed with having Marfan. But Isaiah Austin, I mean, shout out to you. I hope you're doing good things or great things as of now. But yeah, that sucks. Another guy we have is Javier Botet. He looks like he has Marfan. He's very slim. He leans to the side. His shoulders are not symmetrical. Sort of like, again, one of my brothers, his shoulders aren't symmetrical, and you can see it. He tries to blend it in, but ultimately you can see it. But he is a Javier Botet Lopez is a Spanish actor who usually cast in creature roles. And that sucks. I want to be an actor. I don't want to be cast as like any creature. And then you have Austin Carlisle. Is a musician, well known for as a baseball coach from Pensacola, Florida. Jonathan Janine, Jonathan, born July 3rd, 1997. Jonathan, I'm not even gonna. French basketball player. He plays for the Coyoteers basketball 86 team, which is in the French league. In a French league, was considered a possible NBA draft first round pick in 2017. He was diagnosed with Marfan. That same year, Jonathan was underdrafted because his sudden development. He stands at whatever meter tall, which helps him to play power forward and a center position. So basically, I don't think the NBA would have took them up. And the last one on this particular list is Troyo Sivian, and he's another songwriter from Australia. Songwriter, actor, and renowned YouTuber. Look at there. So Troye Sivan. But yeah, those are just a couple of celebrities that have Marfans, a couple of well-known people that have Marfans. And then there's you guys, and then there's me, and we all have Marfans, and we're all trying to live, and we're all trying to, of course, create a community. As like I said, there's a lot of different Facebook groups to become a part of, and basically have help, have a system, have a back. What am I trying to say? Like have a backbone. Like people have your back, and they try to often help on like you look good. Like again, when you're feeling down about yourself, and you talk about like what's making you feel down. The people in this, what I've observed in this Facebook group, and I don't know if it's just the Texas one or just a big old Marfan group period. But people are very helpful and just again making you feel the way you need to feel because again, yes, having Marfan sucks. I'm here to tell you that it does, but I'm also here to tell you that it does not have to suck. You can make the most out of it while you still can because again, as we know, our we can have so many surgeries, and even with all those surgeries, your lifetime it's borrowed. Again, tomorrow's not promised. So again, you got to make the time out of what you have today. No use in feeling sad. But so with my next question or next topic from ChatGPT was doctor care for Marfans and what that looks like. So I think I actually have that somewhere. Or how do you care for someone with Marfan? So basically, educate yourself, support physical health, monitor medical appointments. Again, that's where that comes in. Provide emotional support. And this goes for two topics. So the doctor care for Marfans and what does it look like? And family and friends care for Marfans. What does that look like? So yeah, so provide emotional support, help with daily activities. I mean, again, yeah, take the load off of somebody's shoulders. Help manage pain. Yeah, help manage pain. Be aware of potential complications. Connect with support groups. Like I was saying, there's a lot of support groups on Facebook for Marfans and all diagnoses alike. Advocate for the person and encourage self-care. That's 10. And you can rewind this and get them again. Help with mobility. Because again, I know there's some days where I don't even stand up due to the pain that I have in my feet. But you'll never know, and that's just me being ignorant, but you'll never know that I'm having that pain unless I tell you. But there's some days where I don't want to stand up in the shower, where I don't want to get up and walk around just to get a snack, to make dinner, to warm up my dinner. There's some very painful days. So for anyone out there that does experience those days, you're not alone. But again, we got to power through it. Or again, ask for help. The other ones here, prepare for emergencies, because again, that does happen in our line of living. That does happen where we have to prepare for emergencies, and just know that we gotta make something shake. We gotta make it do what it do. Communicate effectively. Don't be afraid to tell somebody like, "Hey, my vision." Like I said, I get hot flashes. I guess like I'm a older lady. I get hot flashes. My vision starts to get blurry. I start to sweat out of nowhere, and sometimes it takes minutes or hours to like cool my body temperature down. Water doesn't sometimes help. Putting me in a cool room doesn't help. My body literally has to go through it alone. My heart pumps fast. I can feel my blood pressure going up. But like you got to communicate these things so people know what to do. Like what normally helps you in this situation. And again, that's something that I can do better at. That's something that I'm pretty sure you guys can do better at. But we have to do better together. So I'm going to say that much and then keep going. And ultimately take care of yourself. So like again, that's what I do. I keep myself in cool situations. I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of protein-filled foods. I laugh a lot. I smile a lot. Like again, I believe that your body feels those euphoric moments when you laugh and when you smile. Your body feels those. It's just like a rush of joy coming back into your body, and like it's like almost like the quote unquote fountain of youth, where it's just like you're adding time back into your body. You're adding times and days and years and weeks and months or whatever back into your body as the more you smile and laugh and enjoy the times that are around you. But again, caring for someone is when it comes to like a doctor. Of course, like your doctor should do your echoes, the little jelly thing, whatever that's called, your CAT scans when you have surgery and whatnot, your X-rays to make sure your spine isn't like getting bent too much or deforming due to the scoliosis that might occur. Because remember, you got to work on those connective tissues, trying to align your body, yet alone align your spine. So those are some things that like your doctors might look for. But again, a lot of this stuff is like, again, the people closest around you can help you do. Take care of yourself. Lend a helping hand. Again, they recommend that we shouldn't be lifting anything over 50 pounds, but we do it anyway. However, if we have someone around us that is willing and can and is able to take that burden off of your shoulders, let them do it and extend your life and just tell them thank you and treat them to something that you're able to do. So yeah, there's plenty of ways. And you know what? I'm gonna read this list again. So what I wrote was, how do you care for someone with Marfan syndrome? And what chat wrote was, caring for someone with Marfan syndrome involves providing support and understanding that the person's unique physical and emotional needs. Yeah, understand their unique physical and emotional needs. Here are some general tips on how to care for someone with Marfan syndrome. 1. Educate yourself. 2. Support physical health. 3. Monitor medical appointments. 4. Provide emotional support. 5. Help with daily activities. 6. Help manage pain. 7. Be aware of potential complications. 8. Connect the support with support groups. 9. Advocate for the person. 10. Encourage self-care. 11. Help with mobility. 12. Support medical research. I do that through my Apple Watch, whatever. I let them, all the health data I release to them. I hope that one day it honestly saves someone's or people's lives. 13. Prepare for emergencies. 14. Communicate effectively. And 15. Ultimately, taking care of yourself. I mean, again, how was Marfan founded? We went through that. Antoine Marfan saw similarities in a couple of his patients, and ta-da! Somewhere down the road, he diagnosed Marfan, which I would think during that time, I guess that's what I was gonna say. Whereas we have advanced so much medically, or medically advanced, is that he noticed that similarity and just ultimately named it Marfan. I don't think, or I don't know how much in depth he was going with genetic testing and just finding a mutation. I don't know if we were that aligned yet as the world or as scientists. But even now, but again, let's just say if like all the advances that we have now, and let's just say Marfan was the newest thing, we would, again, FBN1, that's the gene. I do know that's the gene that's detected. I remember me going to the doctor, and he or she was telling me that, I know this may sound insane. However, if you do want a child without Marfan syndrome, a thing that we can do, of course, this just goes to how far genetics, testing, science, medical, just like all this stuff has come. He said this may sound weird, but one thing that we can do basically get the sperm and the egg, create that embryo, and test each embryo that we're able to make through what you're able to give us, to see if any of those off rip will have a FBN1 mutation. We can do away with those that are affected and implant the ones that aren't. When I heard that, I was, for one, amazed, never discussed it, because that's just science and that's just the frankness that you have to have with someone that is debating whether or not whether they want to reproduce and whether or not they don't even like know what to do or how to think of or fathom having a child with a disorder, just wanting a child to go through what they went through. So I understand. However, when he told me that, I was like, that's insane. That's crazy. And I would be a liar if I was to say I have not considered it moving forward in my life. I just wanted to put that out there. So again, it's not natural conception. However, it is natural incubation. After the embryo is implanted into your partner, that process does begin, and again, you are monitored closely, and what so on and so forth. But I just thought that was something interesting to share. So the typical age. My next thing was typical age on how people how far they live. So I'm gonna start with my father. I texted my brothers and sisters that as I was writing down the script for this episode, and I said how old was Daddy when he passed, and I think his age was 50 or 51. So I used to say I just want to live past my father, and I meant that. I honestly did. I think now I don't say it. I honestly don't say it anymore. I talked to two people, and they was like, "You should really stop saying it. Stop saying stuff like that way." And of course, we all know words have meaning. Words are powerful. So I stopped saying that. But I do know that I want to live a long and healthy life. So what that life takes me to 70, 80, 90, 100, I want to live as far as I possibly can, because I honestly do believe 50 was too young for my dad. And I also read another article to where it's just like 25 can be like, you know how people say like they're going through like a midlife crisis or anything like that. Some people go through a lot of things at younger ages than other people because that is their midlife. And I'm just like, I want to live my life to where I'm not having a midlife anything. I'm always enjoying what I'm doing. And again, people say like midlife crisis, you start to do the things that you should have done, and it's like you're sort of angry when you do it or whatever the case may be. I don't want to be that. I don't want to live that. I just want to live a joyous, laughful, smiling life. But yeah, RIP to my dad. Shout out to him. Spreading this wealth, as we can call it, amongst his children. But yeah, so like another thing, so a couple people that I looked up for, let's see, like the death or like age, it's somewhere in here. Some tragic deaths related to Marfan syndrome. So we have Jonathan Larson, American composer and playwright best known for the musical Rent, was diagnosed with Marfan's at a young age and experimental health complications related to the condition throughout his life. Larson passed away at the age of 35 due to an aortic dissection. And that was 1996. So even then, I got a dissection and I was quote unquote treated. But you have to watch what you do. I had a dissection in 18, got a surgery 6 months later. But again, you have to watch what you do. Now, I don't know what he was doing in between the time of like, I don't know. I don't even want to speculate. But again, 35 was the age that he passed. We have Flo Hyman, an American volleyball player who competed in the 1984 Olympics. She was also known as an advocate for raising awareness of Marfan. She had been diagnosed with the condition herself. She passed away in 86, 2 years after the Olympics, at the age of 31, due to an aortic dissection. Then we have Sergey Grinkov, was a Russian figure skater who competed alongside his wife. He passed away in 1995 at the age of 28 due to an aortic dissection. So it seems like anything before the 2000s, not to laugh, but it's like anything before the 2000s, I guess they didn't know how to treat, or maybe like the shark bite surgery is something new and different. Who knows? Then we have Vincent Schiavelli was an American actor best known for his roles in films such as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Ghost. He was diagnosed with Marfan at a young age and experienced health complications related to the condition throughout his life. Schiavelli passed away in 2005 at the age of 57 due to pulmonary complications. Um, yeah, those are. I mean, I've never heard of. I think I've heard of the volleyball player, but I've never heard of like these people. And just again, they at the ages of 30, my dad at 50, the last guy at 57. I want to make it above that. So, like I said, I'm doing a lot of things just to ensure that I make it above that. And again, it's crazy. Like you even think of the years. Like 40 years from now is 2060, 2063. I want to live to see the world in 2063. I want to live to see the world 2073, 2083. It's crazy, but that's it. I want to live to see all of those things and all the changes that the world has to come. So I have to do everything that I possibly can to take care of myself and surround people that know that I have to take care of myself. And if you're not taking care of me, I can't be around you. So again, that just goes with just living your life and knowing who's for you and who isn't. Next topic, tragic deaths. So yeah, typical age, tragic death. It seems like, again, I could Google this, but I'm not. But it seems anywhere from like 30 to 50. Let's just say 30 to 60. And then again, those were in the 90s. So let's make an educated guess, right? Anywhere from 40 to, let's go 60. Because he was 57. 40 to 60. As of today, I'm in a midlife crisis, quote unquote. And I should be doing things like going out and buying a Corvette and a Ferrari, as they do it and they portray in movies. But between the ages of 40 and 60, so I think, I mean, again, medical advances, we're living at the age where we can get a teledoctor and tell us what to do, crush up some aspirin and chew it just to prolong until the ambulance gets here, which is a scenario that I've actually been in before, not with myself, but with somebody else. But again, we live in that day and age to where we can live a little bit longer. We can stand to do things and live a little bit longer than those people that I just read about. Yeah, and that's that. See, I'm flowing into it. I like it. I'm flowing now. But we can live a little bit longer. We just have to take care of ourselves. To my family members that are out there eating box dinners and stuff like that, stop that, man. That's no way. We gotta eat. We gotta eat better. We gotta eat better, drink better, do better, smile more, laugh more, avoid stress more, and just do what we need to do. Again, high blood pressure is a big thing. These people are in some place in some. Not necessarily don't follow your career path, but like they were in some places that were high stress levels, and who knew how they dealt with their stress. We have to do better ways of dealing with our stress, and just like again, not causing our blood pressure to go up, our pulse to go up. Anything we not to say you have to remain mute and I guess the word is docile or whatever, or just stagnant, but we have to find a balance between doing what we need to do and chilling the F out. Like, I'm solely finding that balance. I enjoy it. I do what I need to do. If I'm not, I need to be home by a certain amount of time to just chill out and decompress and decompress and just have a chill rest of the evening or the day. But again, I think with technology, the way that it's advancing, the way that it has advanced, we can see much longer life expectancies with people with Marfans and similar mutations alike. Which leads me to my words of advice. We have to live our lives as if we do have a certain amount of time on this earth. We have to do all the positive things that we can possibly do. Drake said YOLO, and I'm pretty sure there are more things out there. You get the point, though. So I'll say that again. as if I can't read. We have to live our lives as if we have a certain amount of time on this earth. We have to do all the positive things that we can possibly do. Drake said YOLO, and I'm pretty sure there are many other sayings out there. You get the point. So what I'm basically saying is take care of yourself. Yes, it's YOLO. Yes, it's you only live once. But in that the one time that you are living, and again, we see that these people have died at the age of 30 and 50 and 57. We do want to live to see something beyond those times because, again, I'm pretty sure, like at the time of their passing, they didn't know that, dang, tomorrow was the next day that they discovered the AAA surgery to help with that dissection and that abdominal aneurysm. So do whatever it is. All I'm saying is do whatever it is that you can to take care of yourself. Yeah. And then for my conclusion, I hope so. I hope you have a better understanding of what Marfan syndrome is and how to spot it and how to care for it. Your friends and family would love the support. Oh yeah. So for the friends that out there, for the friends of friends that have Marfans, for the family of family that have Marfans, this is an episode that you could probably take and get some notes from and follow up with those people in your life that do have Marfans. And making sure that they're doing what they need to do and love them and care for them as if you would as if they were your own children, as if they were your own brother and sister. Check up on them and do what's right. But nah, man, I would say definitely for people, and I'll read that again. I hope you have a better understanding of what Marfan syndrome is and how to spot it and care for it. Your friends and family would love the support. And again, I'm pretty sure they love you and you love them, so why not support them and everything that they're going through. So signing off, man. Shout out to all the doctors. Shout out to ChatGPT. Shout out to Google. Shout out to GarageBand. Shout out to Final Cut Pro. Shout out to all the technology out there that got me to this episode and do what I need to do as a step away. But how to reach me, all the stuff is in the description. I think like I said, I think you'll enjoy this episode. I think you'll enjoy past episodes, and I know you will enjoy future episodes. So please stay tuned. Subscribe, repost, and click the bell. Like again, you want to be notified when new things are dropping. I think I just dropped one about 2 weeks ago, so go ahead and look for that. And then I'll be dropping one 2 weeks after this, so go ahead and look for that. But yeah, man. But with all that being said, I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope you guys give me some feedback. I hope you guys contact me if you know anybody that's suffering from any of these mutations, or not suffering, that is diagnosed with any of these mutations. We can create our own support group. iMessage, WhatsApp, GroupMe. We can create our own support group and just talk. So I'm here. This is Eli, the Marfan homie, and I am signing off. Peace.